Cool. All right. So my name is Paige Durgan, formerly Paige Jensen with the Jensen Agency. I'm an agency director here. Just hit the 120% level. So I've been here for about 3.5 years. And yeah, before this, zero insurance experience whatsoever. So if that's you, it's all right. You can breathe a sigh of relief. It's all good. I knew nothing. And this training that we have here did not exist. It's like the whole back in the day, we walked uphill both ways to school. That's kind of how it is for a lot of us. I was a COVID baby here. So I came in about 2 weeks after they went fully virtual. So I did get to be one of the first kind of new agents to learn the whole virtual system. And it's been working extremely well. We went from being basically 100% on Zoom, at least I did, to a lot of my appointments are over the phone. Talk to your mentor upline as far as what they suggest for this. Either way is great. Some have better preferences of one versus the other. So chat with them before making any decisions there. But that's the beauty of this. There's no borders. You can work in any state that you want. And yeah, we're able to really do this from wherever we are. I worked from some pretty crazy places back in the day. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here in just a second. Tonight, we're talking phone training. So we are talking how to book an appointment. Has anyone here booked any appointments yet? Done any dialing? Linda has, Angela has, Mary's booked 2 appointments, Alicia has. All right, cool. So we've at least seen the script. That's good. Unless you made something up and you booked an appointment, that's great too. We'll go with the script though. That's gonna be better results for you down the road. But let me go ahead and share here. And we're gonna go through this together. So I'm basically gonna dissect the script for you, kind of explain why we say what we say, and when we say it, kind of how to do it. Summit does a great job of going through this, but I do want to kind of add you some like pro tips that I've learned in my 3.5 years here. There's just some things that you're going to figure out over time, and that's just how it is. But there are some things that I learned that I'd like you to learn before you have to go through the mistakes that I went through. Okay. So here's the best script. If you've never seen it before, I think everyone here has though. So this is what it looks like. It can be found on HQ. Again, you can get it from your training. In fact, all of you probably have from Summit Basecamp. But if you ever need to refer back and look at some other great tools, you just go into HQ, you go into training, you go into training scripts, and that takes you here. So very first one here, this is our best script. Actually, it's the second one right here. That's what we're looking at. So best script, that stands for what? Be busy, establish the reason why you're calling, set the appointment, and the tie down. Okay, that's what that stands for. So first things first, be busy, right? Doesn't matter if you have no one on your schedule. Doesn't matter if you have a full schedule. You're busy no matter what. And guess what? You're going to end up being busy. You're going to end up being like, I can barely squeeze you in, but we're going to make this happen. And that's going to be a good problem to have. But think about the psychology behind it. People want to work with someone that's in high demand, right? If you're going to go to a restaurant and you see one that's like empty and you see one that's packed and it's got a 25-minute wait time, which one are you probably going to feel like you're going to have better food at? Which one's probably going to be a little bit better? Why do more people want to go to one versus the other, right? That's what you're going to be asking yourself. So same thing here. You're going to be the one that's in high demand because people want to work with you. That's going to entice others to want to work with you too. So you're busy. You're like a lawyer or you're like a doctor. Okay. That's what your mindset is. In fact, I used to write on the top of my script, I am a doctor. People work with my schedule. I'm not going to open up hours in the evening where I don't normally work just to cater to somebody's schedule. No, they're going to come in when I'm open. They're going to come in and work when I'm available to work. Okay. So you are busy. Now, getting into kind of the psychology of dialing. So this is a numbers game. You're going to hear that 1 trillion times in your career here, right? It doesn't matter how good you are in the beginning. You could be an expert. You could be coming from like a world-renowned career of phone sales, and this is still going to have a learning curve to it because it's a different industry, right? That's just going to be how it is. So the way to get through the learning curve, the way to get good at this is to just do a lot of it. even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. Do a lot of dials. I always had the mentality when I first started that I hated dialing so much that I was going to do it so much so that I was really good at it and I started to like doing it. We all like doing things we're good at, right? It feels good. It kind of feeds the ego. That's what we want to get to here. So do a lot of it. I promise you, you're going to push past that phase of hating it so much or feeling so uncomfortable or feeling like a total weirdo because you have no idea what you're saying and you sound weird on the phone. It's okay. It's all right. You're going to push right through that. You're going to get to where you're confident, cool, calm, collected, all the things. But you can't do that until you go through the activity. And it's up to you as far as how quickly that happens. If you're going to make 1,000 dials a week for your first 3 weeks, you're going to be substantially better in week 4 than you were if you made 100 dials a week for your first 3 weeks. The faster you do it, the faster you get through it. Okay. So the more dials you make, the more appointments you're going to set. The more appointments you set, the more families you're going to sit with. The more families you sit with, the more you're going to help. That's just how it works. Again, it doesn't matter how great or terrible you are in the beginning. I've seen all ends of the spectrum here, and the result is the same. The more you sit with, the more people you're going to write business with, and that's going to lead to more money in your pocket. And you have the control here. Focus on the controllables. Can't control how many people answer the phone, but you can control how many people you call till you get enough people answering the phone that you need to talk to. Okay, remember that. You have the control there. It says here, most successful agents make 350 plus dials per week, or they dial till they have 12 to 15 appointments. That's a big or. Dial until. Okay, you are all your own bosses, and we are a tough band of ladies. I can't see you guys, so I don't know if any gentlemen joined us. If so, you're tough too. But I say that to say, right, we are our own bosses. We are in charge. And so it is up to us to say, nope, Paige, you are not done until you book a minimum of 12 appointments. Then you can be done. It might take 500 dials. It might take 1,000 dials. It might take 200 dials. It's weird. It just depends on the week. But you're going to go until you've hit your appointment goal. And as they say in training, right, as you can see there, that the average show rate for virtual appointments is 50%. So if we're booking 12 appointments, that means we're going to probably sit with 6 of them. That means we're probably going to write with about 3 of them. It's about 50% down the line. That's where you want to be. That's where average agents are here. So if you're sitting with 6, writing with 3, the average APV per policy is about $1,000. That's $3,000 of APV, which means about $1,500 in your pocket in a week. And that's just while you're getting started, while you're brand new. That's going to keep getting better. Okay. That's going to keep growing. But $1,500 a week, what is that per month? I don't know, math, 6,000, something like that. Not a bad gig. So keep holding out for that. Get as many people on the books as you can, because that's going to lead to sales. Okay. That's not rocket science. That's just how it works. Getting good at this script is going to help you out substantially with that. Okay. So before we dive into really getting into this, I want to talk about some tips to success here. Now, the more you have this memorized, the better your first few dial sessions are going to be. Now, a lot of you said you've dialed before, so that means you kind of know how it feels already. The better you have this down, it's going to be easier on you in the long run. You won't get frazzled, right? Someone's going to say something weird. It's going to happen. People are crazy. So when that happens, how well you know your script is going to dictate how it goes from there. I have heard all sorts of garbage in my time here. It's going to happen. But guess what? It doesn't even faze me anymore, because I know that I have a job to do, and it's to get through this script, find out if they're a yes or a no. That's your job. If they're a yes, great, you're going to book them. If they're a no, okay, see you later. Don't have to talk to you ever again. So the better you are here, the faster that's going to happen, and the less phased you're going to be by any of the garbage you get as time goes on. So big tip, get this thing memorized. What I did is I wrote this thing out 7 times with my hand, with a pencil, with real paper, wrote this out 7 times. And I knew this thing like the back of my hand after that. Whatever you got to do to memorize it. I would randomly like call my husband and pretend that he was a client. He had no idea what was going on for the first couple weeks, but he eventually figured it out. but I would just practice, right? I'd call my mom, I'd call my sister, I'd call my dad. He never knew what was going on, so that didn't end very well. But everybody else, I just kept practicing until I felt comfortable just calling people, being put on the spot, and getting through this script. Whatever you can do to help kind of buffer yourself in the beginning, the better it's going to go. Okay? So, be busy. Be busy. Now, we're going to run through this. Again, I'm going to dissect this section by section so we can kind of talk about why we do what we do. Then if there's time, I'll do a run through as a role play. Okay? Now, you're calling the client because they sent something into you. They're asking for your help. So anybody here thinking about, oh God, I'm worried, I'm bothering them. I'm concerned, right? We've probably all been there. I'm concerned. I'm worried that I'm just interrupting their day. Here's the deal. It is up to you to get in touch with them, because if you don't, something could happen and they don't have the protection. I've had this happen before, many times, in fact, where I've called somebody and it's been too late. They've already passed away. It's dramatic, but it's happened, and it will happen to you. I promise, unfortunately. So have it in your mind. They requested the help from you, and it is your job to make sure that you get them the help if they're still looking for it. Okay? You got to get a hold of them to be able to do that. Okay? They asked for it. We're not cold calling. We're not dialing through a phone book. We're not giving a list of random people and asking to call them and find out who's interested. We're calling people that have already initiated that contact. Okay? So first part of the script. Now there is a pause here and there's a pause here. I'm going to give you a pro tip. The least amount of pause you can do in this, the better. Okay? Because we don't want death pauses. Yeah, you want to sound like a human. You want to get through this like a normal person would. But when they say pause, it's not like a long drawn out thing. Pauses equal hangups. So that's what we need to be careful of. So let's say I saw Tony on here. So I'm just going to use your name, Tony. So, hey, Tony. Hey, Tony, this is Paige. I'm calling about your mortgage here in the amount of $150,000 over at 123 Main Street. I was getting back to you about the request you made for some information on the mortgage protection coverage. So you're just going right into it like that. Okay? You're just going right into it. You're not making any pauses. You're not really giving them time to think about it. You want to get through that first paragraph so that they know why you're calling. Okay? So I'm going to do that again. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Alicia, this is Paige. I'm calling about your mortgage in the amount of $150,000 over at 123 Main Street. I was getting back to you about the request you made here that's designed to protect your family / pay your mortgage if something were to happen to you. I just need to quickly verify some of the information you provided so we can get those options out to you. Now, I see here that your date of birth is 8/24/92, and it looks like your spouse is 3/31/86. So you're just going right.
I was role playing with you.
Nope, sorry, I'm throwing you under the bus here. No, your name's being used. That's all. But thank you for participating. But yeah, so that's what you're doing. You're getting right into it. You're sounding official. You're sounding confident. You're sounding important because you got a job to do. Okay. So no pause here. No pause here. This pause is slight. Very, very slight. Okay. Don't wait for a response here. I know it says that. Don't do it. They'll hang up on you. Okay. Just trust me on that. Now, you're going to go right into the client qualification form. So you're not giving them time to really think at this point. I just need to quickly verify some of the information you provided so we can get those options out to you. Now, I have here your date of birth is 8/24/92 and your spouse is 3/31/86. Is that correct? Yes. Now, at this point right here is where you're going to find out the truth, whether they're interested or not. But until you get to this point and you haven't established why you're calling, if they hang up on you, they don't know why you're calling. So you got to get through this point so they know who you are, why you're getting a hold of them. Once you get to this point, if they do say, oh, nope, not interested, already got it, no thank you, whatever they tell you, you've got rebuttals. Make sure you print those out and put them on above your desk or put them on little like cards, something of that nature. But make sure you've got those to look at. Otherwise, once you get to this point, if it's a no, it's a no. Okay. Now you're going to roll right into this. If they start saying, yes, that's correct. Okay. Have you guys used any nicotine, tobacco in the last 12 months? You don't plan on starting this weekend, do you? Haha. That's funny. That's a joke. It's to make them laugh a little bit, to make them seem like you're human. And this has to sound like it's coming from you. If it seems really forced, don't say it. Don't say it if it sounds weird, but get to the point to where it actually like sounds like something you would say. If you have to rephrase it, that's fine too. Like I used to say, okay, any like nicotine, tobacco in the last 12 months? All right, you don't plan on like starting that up anytime soon, do you? And then I would actually laugh. And a lot of times that would like put people's guard down. They would think, okay, this is a normal person. It's funny. If they laugh, then they're more likely to continue on the conversation with you. Okay. How's your health? Any hospital stays, ambulance rides, major surgeries for you in the last 10 years or so? And how about your spouse? Anything with them? No? Great. Okay. Is there any history of like high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, heart attack for either of you? What medications does the doctor have you on? Now, you want to make sure you give them time to answer in between each of these questions. Don't just like drive right through these. We want them to answer because there's some things we need to ask if they say yes. So, any hospital stays, ambulance rides, or major surgeries in the last 10 years? If they say yes, you need to find out what it was and when it was. Okay, what it was and when it was. Anything like high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, heart attack. When was it? Are you taking medication for it? And what medication are you taking, right? That's if they say, yes, high blood pressure. Okay, what are you taking for it? When were you diagnosed with high blood pressure? Diabetes. When were you diagnosed with diabetes? What are you taking for it? This is where you find out if they're on insulin or oral medication or both. That makes a difference. Cancer. When were they diagnosed? How long have they been cancer free? Got to find that out too. Find out how long it's been since they had any treatment. Heart attack. When was it? Any complications since then? Any medications? We have to note these things down. And then if they have mentioned medications up to this point, this question, you might have to do some fancy footwork here a little bit and say, okay, any other medications does the doctor have you on? If they told you they take something for all of these and you ask what medications, that sounds a little bit weird. So you got to kind of think on your feet. That's why memorizing the script is important. Any other medications the doctor has you on? If they say no, 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 okay, what medications does the doctor have you on? Nothing? Okay, great. What do you do for work? Anything dangerous like a stuntman, rodeo clown? Haha, that's supposed to be funny too, getting them to laugh a little bit. No, I'm a janitor. Okay, what does your work schedule look like? Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Like, what do you normally look like? We're asking this for a reason. We want to find out, number one, if they've got some crazy dangerous job, we're going to have to factor that in. Carriers care about that. But also, this is going to help plant a seed for when we're going to offer our appointment slots. If they say, I'm a lawyer, I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, we're not going to try to offer them a time Tuesday at 2 p.m. They're going to be working. They're not going to be able to be there probably. So this is how we start to know what options we're going to give them when it comes to times we're available to chat. Okay, what does your work schedule look like? What about your spouse? Spouses need to be on the appointment. We do not do one-legged appointments. You will end up with an I need to talk to my spouse, and that never goes well. The reason it never goes well is because you're going to talk to Daryl. Daryl's going to be totally on board with the idea. He's going to think this is super important. Absolutely. He wants to protect Patricia. Okay, great. He's going to say, you know what? Let me talk to Patricia just to make sure she's the boss. She makes the rules. Okay, no problem. He's going to go, hey, Patricia, do you want to get this coverage? It's like $150 a month. It's going to like pay the house if I pass away. If he even says it like that. And guess what? She's going to only hear $150 a month. No, we don't need that. She's not going to be there to listen to all the emotion you're going to go into with the real script. She's not going to be there for the financial fire drill. So you don't want to have them have that discussion with their spouse when you can just have it with both of them. They can both be there and make an informed decision together. So you always ask about the spouse because spouse will always be there. Yes, that is a requirement. You will regret it if you don't. I'm just going to say that. Okay. Now it says in the amount of the mortgage to be covered here is 150,000. Is that correct? That information is provided to you. That's on the lead. Anyone who's seen a lead before knows it's there. It's on there. You just verify that. Now, what is your monthly payment? 1,500. Okay, and is that a 15-year or a 30-year? That's indicating how long their mortgage is. So the reason we ask this is if there's someone who qualifies for a full payout, we want to know how long the term has to be. If it's a 15-year mortgage, we don't need to offer them something that pays off 150,000 and covers them for 30 years. They don't need it. It's a 15-year. So this is going to help us know what length of term we're going to go with. Monthly payment, that helps for two reasons. Number one is if they end up being a critical period candidate, that means that they're going to have to, look at the option that pays the mortgage every month for a certain period of time. If you don't know what that is, go back to the training and brush up on that. Super important. I would say 80% of my business is critical period. What that means is we need to know what their monthly payment is so we can calculate that. We want to know. We have to figure out what it would cost to pay the mortgage every month for a year, every month for a year and a half, every month for 9 months. We need to have that. So make sure you're asking this in the script. Okay. And most importantly here, when you sent in the form, what was your main concern? Was it mostly for coverage on you, coverage on Daryl, or for both? Oh, it was mostly for coverage on me because I make all the money. Okay, so you're looking for coverage mostly on you because you're the sole provider. Am I understanding that right? Yes, right? Repeat back what they say because that means that you hear them, right? People want to know that they're heard. They want to know that you understand what they're looking for. If they feel like you're just trying to sell them something, they're not going to be receptive to you. But if they feel like you're listening and you're here to help find out what fits their need, not just push them into something because you want to, they're going to be a lot less barrier up, a lot more willing to listen to you. Okay. This is crucial. And what I want to say before I go any further, you do not skip any steps in this script. Do not. Everything on here is in here for a reason. It's in the order it is for a reason. This has been tried, tested, broken, and fixed since 2009. And so it is here in its perfected state, and these are still being fixed as time goes on. So HQ's always got the most up-to-date version. All the scripts are great, but you want to make sure that you're following this one because this is going to help you out in the beginning. It's going to help you with posture, with confidence, and with booking more appointments. It sounds strong, right? You find out everything you need. You sound professional. So do not skip any steps. It will backfire. This business backfires if you skip stuff. That's just how it goes. All right. Now you're setting the appointment. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. I'm going to do some homework for you and shop around with several of our top-rated carriers. Once I get the best options narrowed down, you, Daryl, and I are going to sit down for about 20 minutes to review these programs. Your job is going to be to pick out a plan that best fits your needs. Sound good? Yes, you want them to answer. That's called a micro commitment. That means that they're getting into the habit of doing this. Nodding their head, yes. That sounds like a plan, okay? So once you get the yes, that sounds good. All right, I don't know many that are in the home these days, so if that's you, good for you. You follow the left side. Everyone else is virtual, so you're going to just focus on the right side, okay? Don't worry about any of this. Focus on this. So yes, that sounds good. Okay. I have a ton of families requesting this option this weekend, but let's find a 15 to 20-minute window when you and Daryl and I can be in front of a computer together in the next 24 hours. Does the morning, afternoon, or evening work better for you today? Oh, generally speaking, mornings, okay? All right, well, I have a 9:15 or I've got a 10:30. Which of those times works better for you and Daryl? You're always giving two options. The fatal flaw of agents when they're first starting here is they kind of freak out in this section and say, okay, when does it make sense to call you back? If someone asked me that, I would say, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much time you need. I don't know how soon we're supposed to do this. I don't know what this process is like. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know. How about next week? Right? And that's when you get people pushing you off. So you have to be very clear. People don't know how this goes. You know how this goes. So you have to lead them through this. You are the leader. You are the guide. You're helping take them through the process. They're just going to follow you. The more of a leader you are, the more they're going to follow you. So you have to say it exactly like this and have 2 slots available. Now, don't say I've got a 9:15 or a 9:30. That's weird. Those are too close together. You're kind of pigeonholing yourself. 2 times that are somewhat decent spaced apart to give them a good range. If they say, oh, you know what, we work from 9 to 5 and we're not home till like 6. Okay, so let's see here. I've got a 6:45 or I've got a 7:30. Which is better for you? Okay, so you're going to give them some time to get home and get settled. I never offer like a 6:15 if they get home at 6. Traffic always seems to happen on days where they have an appointment with me at 6:15 and they get home at 6. Kids are always a little bit crazy when they get home, running wild, needing things. The dog gets sick, right? Things happen when you get home from work. All of us who have worked outside the house know that. So give them some space to get that figured out. I usually offer my first slot about 45 minutes. Some will tell you to do it an hour out. Either one is fine, okay? Give them some time to get home and get settled. So we're usually home by 6. Okay, I've got a 7:15 or I have an 8:15. Which works better for you both? We're going to be home and settled. 7:15 is great. Okay, perfect. I'll confirm you for the 7:15, then we'll get into the rest of that here, okay? So you want to make sure you're giving them 2 appointment slots 2 times. Doesn't matter what they are. Just make sure you're giving them 2 times spaced out in the time frame that they gave you. Afternoons are good. Okay, make sure it's in the afternoon. Don't give them any morning slots or evening slots. Okay. Now, if they're unable to use video or a tech challenge, again, phones are okay. We're doing business over the phone most of the time here. A lot of agencies are. So not a big deal. We can take care of this over the phone. This is the best number to reach you. Okay, great. Perfect. Skip this if you don't need to use that. But let's say we confirmed a 7:15 slot. Okay, perfect. I'll schedule for 7:15. Do you see any reason, Daryl, why you and Alicia would not be able to make your appointment at that time? No, I don't see any reason. Okay, great. Do me a favor, grab a pen and paper. Let me know when you're ready to write down a few things. This is crucial. All of it's crucial. Cat's out of the bag. But the thing is this right here is called the tie down. That means that they are going to actually get up, grab a piece of paper and a pen, and they're going to come back and get ready to write. This is going to increase your show rate substantially. Agents who skip this step have a major issue with show rate. Because what happens? You hang up, they probably didn't write it down. If you didn't do this, they're going to forget, right? Not everyone's like me and puts everything in their calendar, whether it's a doctor's, dentist, or just the home cleaner coming over, so that they know. Most people don't do that. So you got to make sure that you are in front of their face. Okay, I want you to write down a couple things. Note, this does not say, can you do me a favor? Hey, can you grab something to write with? No. No, I can't. That's when you're going to get, okay? Hey, do you have anything to write with? No, I'm so sorry. I'm in the car. Or no, I'm in the kitchen. I have some. No, I don't have anything. You're not asking, you're telling. So do me a favor, grab something to write with. Let me know when you're ready to write down a few things. There's no room for negotiation when you say it like that. Okay? It doesn't say do me a favor. I like saying that. I think it kind of like cushions it a little bit. Do what you want though. Whatever sounds good for your voice, that's fine. Okay? Now, here's a few things you'll need to have out during our appointment. This will help us speed up the whole process. So I'm going to need your doctor's name, address, and phone number for you both. And Alicia, Daryl's going to be at the appointment, right? Yes, he is. Okay, great. I'm going to need to verify the name and dosage of any medication that you're taking. I know you kind of told me that earlier. Just make sure you have the bottles handy. Make sure you've got a list handy. Make sure you've got your report from your health portal printed out. Whatever you need, make sure you've got those names and dosages handy. That's going to speed things up. Lastly, I'm going to need photo ID for both of you. Driver's license is fine. I'll have my license for you as well. Okay. These are crucial for a couple of reasons. Number one, you got to know who the doctor is. Most carriers ask for that. Number 2, medications, got to have those. This is going to help you with your risk assessments as you're getting ready for those appointments. You need to know what they're taking, what's going on. Got to have that, got to verify it. Plus, a lot of times someone's going to say, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I take gabapentin as well. Good to know. All right, I'm going to put that down here. So just make sure they have it all. It's going to help alleviate a lot of back and forth for you in the long run. Okay. Photo ID, most carriers ask for that, but also it means they got their wallet on them. They're going to be asking for bank info as well once you get into the application process. So this just makes sure everything's near. Okay. All right, so that should be all I need. So we're meeting at 7:15, correct? Okay, if you could do me a favor, write that down at the top of your paper so you don't forget. I like to say, if I don't write it down, I will not remember and I will not be there. So if you're anything like me, write that down so we don't forget. Now, give yourself a couple minutes beforehand to get your computer set up. If it's a phone call, don't say that. That's weird. So just skip that part. But if it is a webinar, what's the best email for me to send that video conference link over to? Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to send that link now. Make sure they get it. Okay, if you're not doing Zoom, don't worry about any of this stuff. Just don't say it, okay? You'll just go, okay, write that down at the top of your paper. 5 minutes before, actually, this is also a video conference. So 5 minutes before our meeting, you'll just click the link and your computer will open right up to the video conference platform. You should not have to download anything to your computer. It'll automatically start. So this section, if webinar, down to here, if you're doing Zoom, you got to say this. Make sure they get the link. Make sure that's there. If you're doing a phone appointment, go right down to, as a reminder, I have a lot of homeowners to help this week. I want to make sure to get to everybody. So please just give me a couple minutes of wiggle room in case I'm running behind. Sound good? You're busy, okay? You're letting them know you are busy. Be sure to tell Daryl that we're meeting each other on screen. If you're on screen, don't say that if you're not on screen. It's weird. Just in case they want to brush their hair, okay? Little joke, little funny thing to close out the call. If you're on the phone, don't say that. It's okay. Just skip it. End it. This sounds good. So that's why knowing this script forwards and backwards, the first time you dial should not be the first time you're reading this because it's going to be weird. As you can see, you're going to say something that does not make any sense. So that's the script broken down. Why we say what we're saying in that order. Now I'm just going to stop sharing really quick, make sure that I covered everything that I need on that part. Okay, all right, good deal. Now, couple things with how to say the script. I will do a little bit of a role play here in just a second. That way you can hear how I sound when I'm actually running it. But a couple things I want you to listen for. Low and slow. That is open for interpretation. But basically what that means is calm and confident. Okay? It means that whatever that voice is for you, the voice you use when you talk to, I don't know, your sister, if you like her. If you guys talk a lot on the phone, she's one of your best friends, you're just chatting, just hanging out. You don't care what she thinks of you. She doesn't care what you think of her. That type of vibe of you, that's what you're going for. Okay? Low and slow. You don't sound all high-pitched and fast and salesy. You don't want to do that. Okay? You're not a telemarketer. Don't sound like one. Okay? Now, the most important part of this script, again, is that first paragraph. You got to get through that whole thing so that they know why you're calling. Otherwise, who knows, right? The faster you get through that, but the most efficiently you get through that, got to be calm and collected, the better, right? Don't do any of those death pauses, okay? You'll just get hung up on and you'll be upset. No death pauses. And then you want to make sure you tie down that appointment at the very end. Lean into all of it. Do the writing out my name and writing out the medications. Make sure they write this stuff down. It's going to help them show up, and you want people to show up. That helps you make money, right? Rebuttals, again, put those on cue cards. Make sure you got them. I had rebuttals like on a poster behind my computer so that I knew what was going on when someone would answer and say something weird. I didn't freak out. I had it right here. I knew what to say back. Rebuttals are going to work, I would say probably 1 to 3 times out of 10. You're going to get someone to come back your way, right? We're not trying to flip people over. We're not trying to turn a no into a yes. We're not trying to strong arm people or trick people into an appointment. We're just looking for the yeses. But a lot of times what happens is someone just needs more information. right? A lot of times someone doesn't really know what we're talking about. For an example, hey, this is Paige. I'm calling about the mortgage in the amount of $250,000 at 123 Main Street. Nope, don't need it. Okay, this is about the mortgage protection coverage that you requested some help on. Do you still need some help with that? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought you were trying to get me to refinance. I've had that conversation about 80,000 times, and you will too, okay? You want to make sure that you are confident you're able to overcome those objections. But whenever you get weird stuff in the beginning, it's because a lot of times they don't know why you're calling. They don't know what this is about. They think you're going to try to get them to refinance or do something. I don't know. We get a lot of calls when we take out a mortgage. So just clarifying that this is something that they requested. I don't remember doing that. Oh, well, it looks like here, Dawn, that I've got a card that you filled out by hand. Looks like you put your age as this, or you put your birthday as this. Looks like your spouse's name is this. Looks like address is this. Is that ringing a bell? Oh, yeah. Okay. I do remember filling something out. So a lot of times it's just an ask for more information. Or if it's a no, it's a no. Let them go. It's all right. You gave it a shot. You did one swipe at them to get them to come to your side. If not, no big deal. But at least you tried with your rebuttal. So have those up behind you, ready to go. We triple dial here. Is everyone cool, comfortable with what the triple dial is? Makes sense? Everyone good? Good. Okay. So again, that's you call the number, you let it ring once. Sorry, you let it ring 3 times, hang up, call it again, let it ring 3 times, hang up, let it call it again, let it ring all the way to voicemail. That's a triple dial. That's 3 dials. We track all of our dials here, and that counts. So every time I do that on a phone number, that counts as 3 calls. On to the next phone number. Call it, let it ring 3 times, hang up, dial it again, let it ring 3 times, hang up, 3rd time, all the way to voicemail, hang up, on to the next one. On and on and on. We do this for a couple of reasons. Most people don't answer till you get to the 3rd ring. Most people don't answer a phone number they don't recognize. So when you call 3 times, they start to think, oh, this is urgent. This is protection that's going to help their family. This is important. So we want to be treated as such. Okay. Most people don't answer till you get to the 3rd ring. That's pretty much the only reason why we do it, honestly. We want to make sure that we get a hold of them. And once we get the yes or the no, we know what we're working with. We're on to the next. Okay. Other thing I'll tell you before I role play here, 2 other things. Number 1 is you're tracking on your agent activity report, making sure you are tracking all of your activity. You're tracking all your dials. You're tracking everybody you've contacted. So number of contacts, you're tracking how many appointments you book. You're tracking everything. That can be found on HQ, in Summit, in Basecamp. So you are tracking that. If you don't know your business, you're not in business. So make sure you know. It's going to help your mentor be able to coach you, kind of see where the issues are. It might just help you stay sane. That's what it did for me. I knew if I was making enough dials, I was going to book enough appointments, and I was going to sit with enough people, and I was going to write enough business. I knew that every single week because I knew what my numbers were. You will too, as long as you start tracking right from the start. Okay. Fill that out every single time you dial. You want to use the client qualification form. That's also in Summit. That's what you're using while you're running through this script. You're notating their health stuff. You're notating their height and weight. You're notating their mortgage information. You're notating all of this stuff. That's what you're going to take to run your risk assessment. And that's going to be what you go to in the appointment, ready to go. Okay. Client qualification form is very important. It's kind of hard to say, but very important. Lastly, we need 2 phone numbers. Okay. You want to dial from alternate phone numbers. I use my own personal cell for one. It's fine. It's no big deal. No one stalked me yet. Don't be afraid of that. The second one, if you're on switchboard, that's another phone number. If you're not, don't panic. I used Google Voice for a long time as my second phone number. So get yourself 2 phone numbers. It's going to help you dial through your stack of leads once with one phone number. You dial them again with your second phone number, and you just keep alternating back and forth. It's going to help with your contact rate. Okay. And practice. Go through this a lot. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. You just can't help but get better at something if you keep doing it a lot. It's just how it goes. All right. So I am going to run through this script. We won't make it too overly difficult, so don't be one of those clients. Okay, we'll make this simple, but just so that you can kind of hear this in practice. Who would like to be my volunteer client?
I will.
All right, Mary. I was going to
Or
call
anyone else.
Let's go
Okay.
ahead on you, Mary. All right, perfect. Thank you for volunteering. So I'm going to call you again. Don't be overly complicated. We just want to get through the script so we know what it sounds like. There's always a scenario we could go over, but for simplicity's sake. So, all right, ring ring.
Hello.
Hey, Mary.
Yes.
Hi, Mary. This is Paige. I'm calling about the mortgage you have in the amount of $250,000 over at 123 Main Street. I was getting back to you
Okay.
about the request you made for some information on the protection that's designed to protect your family, pay the mortgage if you pass away. Just needed to quickly verify some of the information you provided so we can get those options out to you. Now, I've got here date of birth is 8/24/92. Is that correct?
I don't really remember doing that.
I forget
Setting
doing stuff
up.
like this all the time. Yeah, I know. You probably got so much mail when you took out your mortgage. I know I did. So this is that little postcard we sent to you a while back. Looks like you called the 800 number on there, answered some questions, put your birthday,
Okay.
mortgage amount. Is that ringing a bell?
Okay. Yeah, I think my husband did it. He's always doing that stuff.
Oh yeah, mine too. And then he doesn't tell you about it. That's how it goes, right?
Never.
So I've got you on here and looks like I don't have your husband's age. What's his correct age?
He's 32.
32. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Now, Mary, have either of you guys used any nicotine or tobacco in the last 12 months?
Yes, he uses nicotine pouches.
Nicotine pouches. My husband does too. It's better than chew, though, in my opinion. So we'll go
Yep.
with it. All right. And then how about for you? Anything on your side?
No, never.
Okay. You don't plan on starting that up anytime soon, do you?
I don't.
Okay. All right. And Mary, how's your health? Any hospital stays, ambulance rides, or any major surgeries for either of you in the last 10 years or so?
Not in the last 10 years. No, we're pretty healthy.
Okay. All right. Good. I love hearing that. And oh, what's your husband's name, by the way?
Colin.
Colin. Okay. How about for Colin? Anything for him, or you're both healthy?
We're both pretty healthy.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Any history for you and Colin of anything like high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, heart attacks at any point in your lifetime?
No, not for either of us.
Okay. Awesome. What medications does the doctor have you on now for either of you, if any?
I am on buspirone for depression, and he doesn't take anything. That's it.
Nothing for him. Okay. Okay. Great. Any hospitalizations for anxiety or depression in the last 10 years for you?
No,
Okay. All right. Good deal. Good deal. Now, Mary, what do you do for work? Anything dangerous, like a stuntman, rodeo clown? Are you base jumping a lot? Anything like that?
no, I'm an interior designer.
Oh, okay. All right. Relatively safe. I bet that's fun though.
It was.
Oh, awesome. How about for Colin? Anything dangerous for him?
He is a carpenter, so and he's hurting himself a lot. So, a little bit, yeah.
A little bit. Is he like hanging from scaffolding? Does he work on like skyscrapers or more kind of like residential stuff?
No, more residential indoors, but he does get on scaffolding sometimes.
Okay. Okay. Got it. And what does your guys' normal work schedule look like? Are you like Monday through Friday, 9 to 5ers, or what does that typically look like for you both?
Yeah, he's usually 7 to 7, and I'm home around 6.
Okay. So he's normally home around 7, you're normally home around 6. Okay. All right, good deal. And like I said earlier, says the amount of your mortgage to be covered is about 250,000. Does that sound correct?
It's now at about around 200.
200. Awesome. Good. Making some payments. Good deal. And what's your monthly mortgage payment right now?
It is around 1,700.
1,700. Fabulous. Is that a 15 or a 30-year term?
That is a 30.
30. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Now, most importantly, Mary, when you sent in the form, or when he did rather, what was the main concern? Was it mostly for coverage on him, on for you or for both of you?
Mostly coverage for, I guess, either one of us if, one of us would happen to die. So either of us.
Either of you. Okay. All right. All right. That makes a lot of sense. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some homework for you, Mary. I'm going to shop around with several of our top rated carriers. Once I get the best options narrowed down, you and Colin and I are going to sit down for about 20 minutes to review these programs. Your job's just going to be to pick out the plan that best fits your needs and your budget. Sound good?
Great. Sounds good.
Okay. All right. So I do have a ton of families requesting the option this week, but let's find a 15 to 20-minute window when you and Colin can be together at home. Now, does that, and of course, within the next 24 hours as well. So does that usually work better more morning or afternoon into the evening?
Into the evening.
It's the evening. Okay. All right. So
Mhm.
today, let's see, today is Monday. So we're looking at tomorrow. Let's see here. So I've got, looks like I still have a 7:45 open, or I do have an 8:30. 7:45 good or 8:30 better for you and Colin tomorrow?
Probably 7:45.
7:45. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. I'll schedule you for the 7:45. Now, do you see any reason why you and Colin would not be able to make our appointment at that time tomorrow?
No, we should be able to make it.
Okay. Okay, great. We need to go later. Just let me know. I want to make sure that we're definitely going to be there. I have a lot of people to meet with, so I want to make sure I'm meeting everybody here. So do me a favor, Mary, grab something to write with. Let me know when you're ready for a couple quick details.
I'm ready.
Perfect. So a couple things you'll need to have out during our call tomorrow. This will help speed up the process. First, I will need doctor's name, address, and phone number for both you and Colin. And he'll be there, right, tomorrow? We already clarified that.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, excellent. I'll need to verify names and dosage of any medications. I know you said he doesn't take any, but if any come to mind, just have those handy, and just the one for you. If anything else comes to mind, just have those handy for tomorrow as well.
Sounds good.
All right, and last thing, I'll need a photo ID for both of you. Driver's license is just fine. Since we're going to be over the phone, I usually just have you read off the number for me. The carriers would ask for that, so just verify identity that way. Sound good?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, that should be all I need. So we're meeting at, we said the 7:45 tomorrow, right?
Yes, 7:45.
Okay, if you could write that down too at the top of your paper. If you're anything like me, you'll forget as soon as we hang up the phone. I have to write it down, or else I will not be there. So go ahead and do that as well. And just give yourself a couple minutes either way. I am meeting with a lot of people over the course of the day. And if I'm running just a little bit behind, I would love a little bit of wiggle room, if you don't mind. Does that sound okay?
Of course, understandable.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good, Mary. Well, I will call you at that time, 7:45 tomorrow, from the same number.
Great. Thank you, Paige.
You're welcome. All right. Click. Hang up. Awesome. Awesome job. So that's how it goes. And that's how I roll mine. Now, I'm a pretty high energy, fast talker. So low and slow for me is that it's just confident, it's authoritative, but it's clear. If you're somebody who is a slower talker, maybe you're from the South. I find Southern people seem to be slower talkers. It's just how it is. Then be that. Don't try to be something that you're not, but just bring your most confident voice, and that's gonna do you well. Okay, that's what low and slow means. Confident and calm. All right. I am going to stop recording here just so that